Welcome to another episode of Distilling the West. I'm your host, Dan, joined by my co-host, Dave. How you doing over there, Dave?
I am doing fantastic. We're still new to this whole video thing, and I know you guys won't see this, but to get started, I asked our producer if we're ready to start recording, and he goes,
Yes.
and I don't know why that made me so happy, but it did.
Well, it's kind of like for a movie, they get the little...
Oh, yeah, 100%, the clapper.
Yes.
And
that must be why there is a clapper. I'm getting it now.
And honestly, and little known fact, that's where the term the clap came from.
Oh.
That's not true. That's not true. Don't quote me on that, please. All right, anyways.
Well, I'm super glad you guys are joining. We're doing a tasting talk today. And for today's episode, we have Redwood Empire's latest Haystack Needle single barrel. This has been one of their allocated bottles for a while. In the past, it was completely sourced whiskey. But this one I got recently when I took a trip out to Mare Island.
Yes.
And it's at 118.6 proof, so pretty high up there. It's got a char level of a 3 on there, so kind of a mid to high level char on there. And then it is 72% corn, 18% rye, 5% wheat, and 5% malted barley. And I was super stoked to get this. They hooked it up when I stopped off on a little work trip. So yeah, definitely excited to be trying this one. I love the bottle.
Yeah.
How it's got all those like wood grains on it. It looks like it's a branch for the bottle. A little bit different bottle shape that they go with, but just in case anyone's following along, this is barrel number 1836 here, just in case you can score one of these as well and want to try it, or maybe compare your tasting notes to one you have.
Now, speaking of which, Haystack, you've actually had this one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you had this one before?
No, I haven't.
No? Okay. For some reason, I thought you had gotten this one and let us try it before, so this is going to be totally new to me. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. Well, actually, no, I did let you try it. Nothing on air, but in the past I had.
No, I meant beforehand.
Okay, yeah, I hadn't scored one of these bottles before.
Awesome.
So this is definitely the first bottle of the Haystack Needle that I ever scored. The other thing I noticed is on the back of the label it says bottled by Redwood Empire Distilling, Vallejo, California, distilled in California. So one quick topic I wanted to talk about was the fact that they recently took over Savage & Cook and their space on Mare Island. So it doesn't say it explicitly, but just based on the information on the label, I'm guessing that this was Savage & Cook liquid that they're using in this one that they selected a honey barrel for.
Yeah, which I got to say, we talked to the folks at Savage & Cook. We talked to the folks at Redwood. I think that is a fantastic marriage. I'm excited to see what they're doing going forward. And I guess this will be my first try since the merger, acquisition, collaboration, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, definitely. I think Savage & Cook had a lot of great things going on. And I was hearkening back to our interview with Redwood Distilling. And I remember Lauren Pat saying, oh, yeah, we need more inventory. So This was definitely, and they also didn't have a tasting room either. So I think that acquisition filled many slots for them under the Redwood Empire label. But super excited to get into Jeff Duckhorn's Master Distiller, Lauren Pat's Master Blender, their selection on this one.
Yeah, it smells fantastic, and you're going straight for the taste. And I was going to completely derail you with another question, but I'll wait till after we're done tasting before we get to that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I kind of wanted to marry the two. I had kind of been nosing it there, wanted to taste it and come back to the nose. I feel like they're kind of complementary, Rarely am I just getting straight into solid nose, but on the nose here, I'm getting a nice bit of sweetness. And then there's some complexity there that I'm honestly having trouble putting a name to it, but I'm liking it so far, definitely on the nose here.
Yeah, this I skipped the nose. I went straight for the palate. It is delicious. It's a little hot. What'd you say the percentage was on this one again?
It is 118.6.
Okay. Yeah, it tastes it.
Yeah, and with the 18% rye in there, it's definitely not a high rye bourbon, but I think the rye's letting itself be known on this one. So I do get that warmth on it. I don't get too much of like an ethanol blast on the
No.
nose, but I think it is that rye letting you know it's there.
And I want to say, for me, this might be a little weird, but I'm getting more of a cinnamony rye than a
Okay.
pepper, or cinnamony spice than a pepper
Yeah,
spice. How about you?
I like that actually because it is that the pepper kind of has the dry pop to it, where I think excuse me, the cinnamon has that kind of warmth that expands and kind of goes for longer, where I think the pepper is more of a pop.
Yeah, and it's funny because they say like a majority of a whiskey's flavor comes from the barrel, and I feel like I'm not getting a lot of barrel notes from this. I feel like that spice really carries through and takes over any of those. I don't know, like it could be marshmallow, any sort of like barrel kind of notes, vanilla, caramel.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a lot of that. It's really that spice that carries through as the primary flavor for me.
Yeah, this is definitely a warming bourbon for sure. On the spicier side. Yeah, the 118. It definitely lets you know it's there.
Yeah, and the finish is nice for me too. It's not too strong. While I get a lot of that spice throughout the palate, the finish, I think I get more of that sweetness from the corn. And it doesn't really linger too long, but it's definitely still there. It kind of coats the tongue, and then it's there, but not strong.
Yeah. Great viscosity on this one. Yeah, I think I guess it kind of goes in between pepper and cinnamon, but it's definitely the spice.
Yeah.
I would say is kind of the main note on this one. I know that Savage and Cook used Sanguine Moreau barrels. That they're also a cooperage in the West here. Yeah, so I think it's got a great color.
Oh yeah.
On the finish, I'm getting a lot of the warmth. How about you, Dave?
I get more of the sweetness than the warmth on the finish, and I think that comes from the what was it, 72% corn, so a
Yeah.
pretty high corn content there, and I think that kind of brings the sweetness through for me. There's still a little bit of spice, but I think that again the sweetness really takes over for the finish.
Okay. I think I get a little bit more sweet on the front. For me, it's spice, but
Yeah. Hey,
we have
we're all
different
different.
tongues.
We sure do. It'd be weird if we shared the same one.
Yes, that would be weird.
So I don't know. It feels like we haven't done a tasting talk in a while, but we really just did one not that long ago. So let's get to our rating system. So on the nose, I to me it's a meh. It's not as big and bold as I like, but it's good. But just a little more subtle.
Yeah, I would say on the nose as well. I'm kind of in the meh realm. I would like a little more complexity that I would come back to. Usually, kind of that cinnamon isn't my favorite note here. But moving in onto the taste, I really like the mid palate on this.
Yeah.
I think that's a yay for me. And again, this is a great winter pour. I like the spicier stuff in the winter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to really be seeking something like this out in the summer. I think both the proof and that rye spice coming in is going to be, in the winter realm of things for me.
Yeah, for me, I'm actually gonna combine the palate with the finish because I think they really blend together so seamlessly for me, and I'm gonna give a strong, resounding yay for both of them. I love the spice, and again, for me, I get more of the spice on the palate than the nose, and I love that sweetness on the nose. So I'm gonna go very strong, yay for me for palate and finish. How does this one finish for you?
I'm kind of torn between a yay and a may on that because I do like a little bit more complexity on the finish, and I'd say it's not super complex, but I do like it. Like you can tell there's some missing from the bottle. I do come back to this one, and yeah. So I'd say overall, I'm liking this one.
Yeah, I would give it a strong yay as well. I'm jealous that you have the bottle and I don't, but that is all right. So yeah, strong yay for me overall, and you said yay as well?
Yeah.
All right, so with that, we actually start. Oh, you're about to cheers. No, no, not yet, sir. We're going to make this as long as possible so our producer has to do even more work. So, oh God. Yeah, you couldn't see his. Oh, God, really? He's going to keep going. But yeah, so we asked you guys for some listener questions, and we actually got a few.
That's right. Thank you.
So, one of the first questions we got is, what is the oldest distillery in the West? So, Dan?
Yeah, this question was coming to us from Luke, our listener, and we really appreciate Luke. He confirmed with me that he is an avid listener. He was wondering what the oldest distillery in the Western U.S. is, and if there were any that were hanging out still from pre-Prohibition era. And
yeah, we got one.
Yeah, so not pre-Prohibition era. Post-prohibition era, barely. Yeah, I think honestly, within months of ratification of the 18th Amendment and prohibition, Hood River Distiller out of Hood River, Oregon, they 1934.
Yeah,
and that is a heck of a long time. They're DSP Oregon 1, so they're the OGs for sure. And then they acquired Clear Creek Distillery. So Hood River is kind of a little bit of a conglomerate. You know, they have several different labels under them. They definitely do a lot in the brandy world. They started the McCarthy's whiskey line, which is, I think it might have been one of the first American single malts.
I think so.
In the nation. And so they got a lot going on. And then they, like I said, they acquired Clear Creek Distillery, which also is really old in and of itself too. So over at Clear Creek, I know they do a lot of the brandies. They do some pear. I mean, honestly, Doug Fir Needle brandy. I still want to try that one. But.
And honestly, I mean, if we're talking history, I think they were interviewed, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 for us. So if you want to go back into the archives, you can listen to it, not necessarily watch it on YouTube, but we definitely have the podcast out there. They were phenomenal folks out there.
Yeah, Caitlin Bartolome and Garrett Trotter Ramos, both of those two were great.
And so is your memory. That is impressive. I'm terrible at that.
I'm usually terrible at names, but they were both great characters to have on the podcast here.
Yeah.
And Caitlin sure is a character, and
sure is.
I think she would appreciate that moniker.
You got to have them back on.
I agree. Well, because they do have such a deep bench in their lineup. I think we could definitely do a revisit. I've been following them on Instagram too.
Of course,
they have a fun account. They definitely have fun over there.
Well, so Luke, thank you very much for the question. We appreciate it. Keep them rolling in. Send us an email to distillingthewest@gmail.com. No, that is our old email. Our producer Dave is pointing at me. info@distillingthewest.com. Shoot us an email over there. Hit us up on Instagram.
DM it on Instagram. That's fine too.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear from you guys. We appreciate those questions that have come in, and we'll answer some more on our future tasting talks. I know we've got 2 or 3 more at least in the pipe. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Give us a like. Give us a follow. And again, if you see Haystack Needle on the shelf, buy it. Cheers, sir.
Cheers.